This tutorial explains how to use the Asset4 ESG data on DATASTEAM. ESG is environmental, social and governance data. So once you have DATASTEAM open, also open Excel and make sure that you have the DATASTEAM tab showing. Then choose either static or time series request depending on the type of information you want to retrieve. I'm going to select time series request. This opens up the request box. The first thing I need to do is find series to find the Asset4 companies. So I'll click on find series. This opens the Navigator. Now I can type Asset4 to search for the right information. If you ignore what comes up in the main screen and instead on the left hand side you can see there's a link to constituent lists. There's 145 different constituent lists within the Asset4 part of the database. If I click on that, beneath it you can see under market there's 91 mixed lists and then they're ordered by country. In order to see all countries we need to click on more. This opens a full list of all countries covered by the Asset4 dataset. If I scroll to the bottom of the list, we can click on United Kingdom. Right, in order to find the constituents within this list, you do what I've just done here, which is hover anywhere here, and that automatically opens up this lower window where we have a link to the 328 constituents of the UK Asset4 list. Clicking on it will give us a list of all the individual companies. At the moment they're ranked in an order assigned by DATASTEAM, but it is better to assign them alphabetical order so you can find the company you need. So simply click on name at the top and they will be re-ranked in alphabetical order. Now I want to look for information on Morrison's and Tesco's supermarkets, so I'm going to scroll down until I find Morrison's and tick it, and if I scroll further down I should find Tesco and I can tick that also. At any point, if you're unsure whether you've found the right company, if you click on the stars they will open up a description so you can see instantly that this is Tesco PLC, it's the retailing company in the UK. We can make sure we've got the right one by doing that. Okay, close that down. So I've ticked the two companies I want information on. I scroll back to the top and then I select use. And this automatically populates my time series request box with the codes for those two companies, Morrison and Tesco, and it automatically puts the comma in between. The next thing I need to do is choose the type of data I want to retrieve on these two companies. So now I click on data types. It opens the Navigator again. Now one thing you need to be sure of is that you have equities open. If you've recently done another search, you could find that the default is set to whatever you last did. For example, it might be economics as I've now got on the screen. So always click on the down arrow and choose equities in order to get to the Asset4 information. So underneath source, these are all the different available data types and we want to choose this one, ESG Asset4. Click on it and then all the different data types associated with Asset4 are now listed here on the screen. They're sorted by ranking, it says, but it does appear to be an alphabetical list. I'm going to compare my two companies with their CO2 emissions. So I can find that here. CO2 equivalent emissions direct. I just need to make sure it's definitely time series, which it says that it is here. If it was static it would say static. So once I've got the variable I want to use, again I tick the box. You could choose multiple variables if you wish. Scroll to the top, click on use and it automatically populates the time series request. Beneath that we get to choose how many years we'd like the data for. At the moment we've got it on -2y, that means for the last two available years. If I wanted to make it, for example, the last 5 years, I just change it to -5y. The frequency I want is yearly data. I've automatically got row titles and column titles ticked as my options. I also want to have display headings, so make sure that is ticked. And then on the right hand side we need to select embed the visible button, but make sure auto refresh is deselected. Then we're ready to submit, and our results have come back into Excel. We can just double click on the columns at the top to see all the data. If you wanted to go and amend your search, you can do that by clicking on this is the visible button that we asked to have included. If you right click with the mouse, then choose editor, you can add in an additional company at this point or add in an additional data item. If we just go back to our data types, just want to point out that for this CO2 emissions direct, just like with the company names, you can click on the star for more information. So if we do that now, we can see that this variable is direct CO2 and CO2 equivalents emissions in tonnes. So that gives you the extra bit of information you need to interpret the data that you have found. Okay, I hope that's been a helpful tutorial. I'm going to finish that now.